And welcome to Let's Fly VFR, and today we're going to go out into the Robin, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're heading out in VR, so yeah, if you enjoy what you see today, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe. Love to have you on board. So yes, VR, we've got the Oculus S, and we're heading out for a bit of a familiarization flight. We've got a few little things to sort out, getting used to the whole setup. And got to tell you, this is truly amazing, guys. As I sit here filming this aircraft looks real size, and I think this is something that if you haven't had a chance to try VR yet, you're really not going to grasp the level of detail and the whole physical being inside the aircraft thing. And that's something that gets me all the time. I keep trying to put those controllers down on my table, and I put it down on top of the chair, not thinking, and they disappear through it because they aren't there. This is one of the other things you can do with your controllers as well. You can grab the maps. I'm just learning how to do all this stuff at the moment, so you can see I'm a little bit clumsy. You can move it around, you can stick it outside the plane, which is a bit naughty. You can put it up on the roof, put it somewhere convenient for yourself, and just let it there. This changes between what program you're using. If you're in DCS, you actually see a little pair of black hands, and you can grab throttles and all sorts of stuff. But in X-Plane 11, this is how you do it. Yellow trigger, and one of the other buttons to grab and move things, and you can twist and rotate as well. You can see I leave both the little controllers down there on my lap, and I've got the trusty Logitech 3D Pro to do my flying. If you want to come sit in the back, you're very welcome to do that. I trust you will get back in one piece. The other thing that it's just was, as much as I heard from other people what it was like to fly in VR, until you get a chance to do it, guys, you probably will not appreciate the scale and the difference and the immersion that you can see there. Now, all these hangars look real size, as if you were standing there or sitting in an aircraft. Runways, and the depth perception as you approach a runway is something that is probably one of the big ones. We'll see how I go when I do. I'm going to do a couple of circuits, a right circuit, then a left circuit here on at Parafield Airport, and the buildings as well. And now we look over to the tower over there, and the tower is full size, and I've walked around the bottom of the tower, inside the tower and stuff when I was flying, and yeah, it's just amazing. So you go around the corner to all the training schools, they're all around there. It's ATC, I think, is one of the big ones. A shout out to the guys at Hardwick Air from many years ago, and I did a few hours with those guys. So let's get down here and we'll find a runway to take off on.
Approaching 26 right.
And that's where we're going to go, 26 right. Now, the ability to look around, I appreciate with like Face Track No IR and those that have better variants of that. It is really good to be able to look around, but the bit that makes this all different is the depth perception. Now the cowling on that control panel that you can see in front of me sticks out a long way. You know, you just want to put your hand on it and hang on to it as you're doing circuits, or you want to grab it as you want to turn around and look behind you, just to give you that little bit of purchase in your seat. And you go to grab it and it's not there. It's just amazing. I can't tell you guys. I'm just probably going to keep repeating myself. This is one of my early flights. I've been flying in this for about a week, and learning a lot, setting up. Now there's some
Approaching 26 right.
There's some tools here to make it a bit better. Getting it set up, getting your display set up right. Now the one thing I want to highlight to you, if you don't have it, is the clarity that you get looking at this current screen is not the clarity that you get in game. Okay.
Caution, short runway, short runway.
It's not to take away from the game or from the experience at all, but the clarity outside is not what you see on screen. So I want you to understand that, because I never really got that, and people who have VR and do these YouTube videos like we're doing today to show you around and what it's like don't always explain that. You think, oh, what I see here is what I'm going to get. Now, if you've got a 1080 and a 99 or whatever, the chances are it might be somewhat better. But I think the difference that I find is that with a few little tricks, I've made it a lot clearer, and that's the Oculus Debug tool that allows you to turn up your anti-aliasing in game. And if you've got one of the new touring cards, 20, 60, 70, 80, there's a new tool they've introduced there as well, which is VRSS or something like that. And what it does is it increases your anti-aliasing, but only in the center of your view. So it really gets the clarity up right where your eyeball is, but if you're looking to the left and right, you probably won't notice it because you tend to move your head when you're looking around. So that apparently is pretty good, but on mine that doesn't work. So there's other ways of doing it. So yeah, the debug tool, you just turn up the anti-aliasing in that, and it doesn't seem to give you too much of a hit on FPS, but the clarity does get a lot better. Touring, sorting out your the eye distance as well. I'm trying to think it off, having a man think of what the term for that is. I'm sure you know the distance between your eyes. Now you can set that up as well, but I haven't noticed a big difference in that change. As we fly right, we're doing a right downwind for this runway 226, wasn't it? We took off from, so we can head that down. And it's amazing looking out towards the hills. We're going to have to do some hill flying and some glider flying, and some low-level stuff for sure. And as you look down over there, now one thing I have done recently is I got rid of all my my other software or my other scenery and went back to default, just as somewhere to start. I found with the overlays, for some reason it wasn't allowing the 3D buildings to generate. And I think that would normally just be an order thing, but I've done it enough times to know that I was sure the order was correct with the ortho scenery underneath the buildings, but yeah, it wasn't working. So let's descend on our right base as we come back to runway 26 right. Now this is normally a twin engine runway. Twins use the right on either of the pair of runways that are available, and the singles use the left single engine. So one's always doing a right circuit and one's always doing the left circuit. So you've got to be conscious that as you come into to do a landing here, there could be an aircraft right next to you as you do so. Now we've got the angles right. Now this is the thing that I found has got a lot better. My touchdowns have, and just watch this one and see how I go on this first one, and then we're just going to do one more circuit during today's video. Coming in, we've got it now. I'm getting the depth perception, which is what you don't get on a flat screen. I've just got the right point, got the nose up, little flare. See that? That's a 9 out of 10 in my book anyway. That was just greased on the main wheels, and you could just about feel it. So we power back up again, and we're going to head back out on 26 right, and we're going to do something naughty. We're going to turn left, which we would not be allowed to do. So the chances are you'd run into somebody else. We'll climb away, clearing the pattern as you do so. We'll get up to about 500 feet or so, and then we'll make a left turn as we go over the Salisbury Highway. Climbing away nice and comfortably. This is such a great aeroplane to fly. If you're not aware of this one, guys, this is the Aerobus 401, and that's what you see on a normal screen guide. That narrow view you just saw there, and that's what you normally see if you take your VR goggles off and look onto your main monitor. You'll see a little narrow one like that. I'm using the Oculus mirror, which allows me to capture full screen and puts everything in the right sort of perspective. You see that little mirror pop up, or little box pop up at the bottom of the screen now again. It's because I'm doing this in full screen, and I have the Oculus mirror open, which is like covers my desktop but has the display of what I'm showing you here. So see, there it is there. Oh, sorry, this is the Oculus default Oculus debug tool there that I'm using to try and improve the quality of what I see and hopefully what you see as well. So we're mid downwind, just powering back. So we look down and towards the north. Now we did have a few fires over in those hills, and very far to the right down Kangaroo Island just had a major amount of fire on the news. This is early 2020. But unfortunately those big massive fires are now all out here in Australia. And we've just had a massive amount of rain in the eastern states. Hopefully that's put out all the fires as well, but it's smashed a lot of cars with golf ball size hail. So you go from one to the other, don't you? Okay, descending on a left turn. This ability to look around, guys, is just, and your depth perception, being able to gauge your descent rate and your approach to the runway is just phenomenal. So we're going to keep descending, just keep a nice gentle turn left, being able to check over my shoulder, not have it just flick around when you're looking for views. Going around to the left now, doing a bit more of a fighter approach, just a constant left-hand turn instead of a full sort of a square circuit as we come into runway 26 left. Okay, lining this up. Head straight out here, you end out in the peninsula. And the training area is off at about 45 degrees, so the entry point to it. So let's see how we go on number 2. I'll give myself a 9 out of 10. Feel free to mark me if you like, and we'll see how we go with this second touchdown. Looking nice. Just watch for the flare as we come in over the runway, powering back. Looking at the far end of the runway, lifting the nose, holding it up, and again, just greased it on. Probably a little bit long. Let's go 7 out of 10. Should have touched down earlier, but there we are, back on the ground, safe and sound. Look at these brakes, which I have now mapped to my trigger for exploding lift, so I can put stop, and we will taxi back. We are taxiing back towards the hangars, nice and smooth. Now the controllers, which have been out of view most of the time, they enable you to do an enormous amount of things. This allows you to change your views, your settings, put yourself back in control as well. This is one of the external views. There's a number of these that you can pick from it. Taxi back, got all the noise there, and put ourselves back on another view, trying to keep ourselves following the line. And again, this aircraft from this point looks absolutely true to life, real size within VR. And we'll save you a little bit of the trip as we come back in. And as I said on the way out, these hangars, the tower, look absolutely realistic in size. You can get out and stand at the base and look up at them. It's pretty amazing, I've got to tell you. If you haven't got it and you've never tried it, find someone who's got it, or try and get yourself a look. And this Oculus Rift S is probably the most inexpensive second generation one you can get, and to date I would highly recommend it. So if you're thinking of getting yourself a set, I'll have a link for it down below. It'll be an Amazon link. Feel free to help support the channel if you would like to get yourself one and help me out in the process. It'd be greatly appreciated. As we turn around and we come into park here on the runway, on the taxiway. So here we go, brakes. Now I fixed that, we'll have the brakes next time. So thanks for joining us. Feel free to join Let's Fly VFR again in the future. Subscribe, like, and I will catch you right back here with a lot more varied content in 2020. Thanks a lot. See you, bye.